What's up guys, this is Nick from Aquatic Haus bringing to you a how-to video on how to set up and cycle a shrimp tank. Today I'm going to use all this for the initial setup for the shrimp tank. It's not necessary, but this is what I have laying around, so instead of just leave it there, I thought of just using it all. So firstly, get a tank. It's best to have a minimum of 10-gallon tank for a shrimp tank. For this setup, I use the UNDERGRAVEL filter. I have never used one before, so I thought of giving it a trial and see how it works. So for the substrate additive, this time I'm gonna use a few products from ADA. This is Bacter 100. The initial setup for the shrimp tank is very important. So we must create the ideal substrate environment for it. So Bacter 100 is a substrate additive that contains more than 100 kinds of substrate bacteria in the dormant state. I'll just sprinkle it across the surface area and not too much on the UNDERGRAVEL filter because I want it all to be underneath the soil. So next up is the tourmaline BC. It absorbs organic pollutant substance and tourmaline. It will help to improve the substrate environment as well. Next up is a clear super, made from activated carbon and organic acid. It promotes the growth of microorganisms in the substrate and stabilizes the environment. So after adding the base substrate additive, I place the bioball on top of the UNDERGRAVEL filter instead of the base. It's because I don't want it to clog the filter after I top it up with soil. You always want the best flow for your filter, so your water stays crystal clear always. Well, I have some pile sand leftovers laying around, so I thought of not wasting it. It works the same as the bioball. It provides space for the bacteria to colonize and establish in a tank. So it's basically where your bacteria lives, above the substrate, between the substrate, and beneath the substrate. So what I'm using now is the MINORECTON powder. It's a very fine powder that quickly dissolves once it contacts with water. So basically, it's a mineral for shrimp. So you want it to be beneath the substrate as well. So it will release the mineral gradually for the shrimp in the long run. Then I added the FULVIC grain. So what it does is it adjusts the water to a soothing parameter of 6 to 6.5 and GH4 for crystal B shrimps. And this FULVIC grain lasts up to 6 months, if you're wondering. And now we'll add the first layer of the Amazonas soil. So why I chose Amazonas soil is because it buffers the pH and KH of the water. I'm not gonna add too much of the soil for this first layer. I am gonna add substrate additives in between. So after the first layer, I've added the Gancum Biozyme. So it's a conditioner for microorganisms that supplies food and have a positive impact on the water column. It works similarly like Bacter AE, which promote bacteria build-up. That's not saying that you can't add too much of the bacteria that help build up. It just happens that I have a lot of extras laying around, so I'll just dump it all in and try it out and see what's the result for this tank. So what I'm gonna use now, it's called the Magic Powder by SL Aqua. It works fine for me as I'm using it quite often in the other shrimp tank of mine. It also works the same, which it promotes bacteria build-up. Next, I'll top up a thin layer of Amazonas soil, just to hold up the powders that I just added. At the top of the soil layer, I added another layer of magic powder. It's just to kickstart the bacteria after the tank is filled up with water. I sprinkled some water on the surface of the soil. It's just to get them on hold on the substrate, not scatter around when I filled up the water. Use anything you want to fill up the water. You may use RODI water, but I'm just gonna use tap water. So for this shrimp tank, I'm gonna use a canister filter to run the UNDERGRAVEL filter. It allows a stronger flow instead of just using the air stone. I'm gonna try this canister and find out whether it works even better. So after connecting the UNDERGRAVEL to the canister filter and the output of the filter, let the filter run 24/7 every day, every single day. A good filtration is the key to maintain the quality of the water in your tank. There will be debris that floats up to the water surface, so just net it up. You can just leave it, but I'll just net it up just to please my eyes. Next, you would like to use the TDS pen to check the reading of your water. So the reading now is 151. It's because the canister filter that I've used, I let it run for a couple of weeks at the other shrimp tank. It still contains the water from that tank. So the TDS was around there for the other tank that I have. So next is just to leave the tank to run by itself for the next couple of weeks. So whether how fast does the nitrogen cycle completes, it really depends on the tank size and the amount of soil that you have in the tank. So hopefully with the canister and all the substrate additives added, it will speed up the nitrogen cycles even faster. So that's all for now. I'll keep you guys posted with the updates of this tank. So if you have any questions you want to ask, please leave a comment below. And also leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. I'll talk to you guys again. See ya.